Hello, this is your host Lakota Ravoc, and welcome back to Timberborn. We're continuing our Update 7 playthrough, where we're going to be playing this giant map here, known as 1,000 Islands. Now our endgame goal for this season is going to be cutting off this map entirely on the outside, filling the entire thing with water, and putting our beavers on top of that so they can live comfortably and have an entire huge plot of land to work with. So let's get right to it. First thing we're going to do today is we are going to add to our beaver population. And we're going to do that by building up some houses on top of these other ones here real quick. So we're going to go ahead and just place a staircase down, right down here, and add some paths. We're using these platforms here for pathing. Now I know I've got it going all the way around, and those are our inventor huts right there, but not a big deal. They just want to be able to access it easily. So let's add a few more houses. Okay, start off with. We've got 3 more houses right now. And I think that's going to give us a good addition to our beaver population. That's going to give us 9 additional beavers, giving us a total of 27, because we're going to need more beavers for additional jobs coming up. And we've got a drought coming in just a little over 2 days, so we're going to see how our barrier works once that happens. We've got our barriers here on either side of our farm. That should hopefully keep a little additional water in, but they're mainly to keep the bad tide out. So we can close these up when the bad tide comes, and it should direct the bad tide away from our main water source right here in the center. And I'm going to do this just because it's been bothering me, but I'm going to change this real quick here where these dams are. I'm going to add 2 dams here, and I'm going to get rid of these 2 when we get a chance. Because, I don't know, it kills my aesthetic. I like putting them right at the edge, but I hate the corners. Our food is doing well. We're getting over 200 of each food type right now. We've got berries, carrots, and sunflower seeds coming in, and we've got them being stored right here at City Center, so they are getting a lot of food. And once we get these stairs built here, we're going to extend our pathway, make another dam up here in the upper corner, keep water in over here, so we can actually start producing trees on this island, just above our city center. So this is the next goal. We're going to work our way up this edge all the way to these ruins. And we're going to start mining these ruins so we can start getting some scrap metal and start producing metal blocks. We also want to get beavers up here to our channel dam so we can start diverting bad water. And we're probably going to make a little district over here at the top so that they can take care of that. So that is our goal, to get that built today if we can, and probably dam off the other sides of this map so that we can keep pure water coming in. So we're going to speed up our beavers here, put them on triple time so that they can start getting this stuff done. And I just want to thank you for coming down and watching. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I challenge you to help me get there. All right, they're getting the first house built already, which is terrific. It's going to take a little time. We've got a lot of trees to grow. So hopefully we can get a lot of this lumber. We've already got a bunch of pines down here growing, which is terrific. So lumber is coming in regularly. But let's keep this path going here. So we're going to go ahead and just put down a couple of staircases. Go one there, and put one there. And we're going to put one... No, we're not going to put one there. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and build that dam real quick. So we're going to go ahead and put a levee here just to extend the range a little, and drop the dams here and basically get us to this next island. And our drought has started. Let's go ahead and close these floodgates here. Whoop. Keep that water in at least a little bit. There's not much there, but that's okay. We've got a little reservoir here that's going to help keep our food going. But this allows us to kind of see now what we're dealing with. So there's a little reservoir next to this island. That means trees here would grow a little bit easier. We can get a water dump and dump water into this spot. That's going to keep most of this island nice and green. All right, we've got that dam in place. So we'll be able to hold a little more water in this area once we can dam up the other side. But that's going to allow us to extend our path, which is good. What we're going to do is build a little platform staircase over here. That should work out nicely, with some stairs and then some stairs down. There we go. Beautiful. So this is where we're going to need to put a forester. Now, it doesn't have a great range, unfortunately, but what we're going to want is a spot kind of centered And then we're going to need to add staircases around the whole thing. So this is pretty good, but not great. This is going to be the hardest thing, finding a good spot for this. Let's add some stairs around the whole thing here real quick and see if we can't get a better spot. I mean, little areas like this down here and up here, not as big of a deal as long as we get the larger land masses. Now, this is not going to be good because we need water close by and the water doesn't reach high enough for it, but most of the area is going to work out nicely. What we may want to do is put a platform in the middle of this water area and maybe put it there. Let's take a quick look. If we were to put a little 2x2 platform here, kind of in the center of the island, and we put our forester hut on that, and then path it, because this is going to be water. We're not going to plant anything here. That covers most of it. We may need to put a path here behind it to let it reach this spot. Otherwise, we may have to put 2 forester huts in this area because this does have a large range in a flat territory. So let's go ahead and put some more large platforms here. Give that a path, and that allows us to reach further. That's actually really good. Unfortunately, we can't reach the top of this entirely, so and this is going to be a lot of platforms, unfortunately, but it might help with his range. And we're going to have to do some pathing to kind of cut off some areas, but that gives us more space up here. All right, so this is going to work if we can get this filled with water. With a little bit of pathing and some stairs, this allows us to reach the maximum amount of space. Now we just got to get this fluid dump unlocked. Let's go ahead and do that. We've got plenty of science to do that. We're up to 380 science right now. I'm going to drop that right here next to the stairs. That should allow us to fill this area up. And the other thing we're probably going to want to do is get a water pump in this area as well, which is going to take up a little bit of space, unfortunately, but it will be handy. What we could do is actually give it its own platform and add it to the existing area without taking up too much space from the trees. So we'll drop that there, and that way we've got water for the fluid dump, which can supply this and give us plenty of water. And once we can get some dynamite going, we'll just probably bust this area out and let the water come in naturally. But for now, I think that'll work. And they've got the homes built, but they haven't got the platforms built because we have no planks going. So we need to open these jobs up for planks. Now our power wheel and our lumber mill are operational, and we got a lot of wood in reserve, so that's helpful. Let's go and lower these floodgates so we can get some water in. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Green up this area again real quick. And I've decided I'm going to take these barriers out and replace them with dam pieces. So we're going to go ahead and start getting rid of these. And as I take them out, we're going to replace them with a dam piece. One at a time. Right, those are put in place. That's going to help us out a lot because once we can actually get the water raised, that's going to store us water in here a little bit easier. Now they've already started on the staircase and platform so that they can get to their new houses and get us some more beavers. And they add those 2 dam pieces down here, so we're going to go ahead and destroy these and get that water over here in this little corner. Now this is cycle 6. That means we're probably seeing our first bad tide coming from our water sources this cycle. Now besides this dam by our new tree farm island that we're going to be making, we need to also put a dam just north of it on this ledge right here. So we need to extend a path that way across to these trees on this little island and up around this. So we're going to have to work our way that direction as well. That means getting them up and over. Now we do have a little path going around, but I'm kind of looking at the side here. It would be a lot of work to build a pathway around it, but I feel like that might be the better course of action. I'm trying to decide what's the best way to do this. Yeah, I feel that might be the best way to go. So we're going to go ahead and put some double platforms around this edge here and use the natural terrain to get them right here to this little spot. So this way we can destroy these blockages here and put some dams up and make a pathway to this little island so that we can dam this spot right here. Yeah, I think that's the best course of action. Let's go ahead and path along that real quick and get them to these blockages. All right, that's going to take a little bit of work. I want them to focus on their new habitats, so we're going to high prioritize these platforms here as well. So all this should get built relatively quickly. And then once they're done with those habitats, they can focus on moving to the next area. In the meantime, we can build up our science. That way we can start unlocking our metal gathering and our smelter. And we can decide where we want to put some power wheels to power that smelter. As well as focusing science to get these zipline stations unlocked, as well as these pylons and the zipline beams. Because we need to be able to get these beavers transported farther, faster. And these are going to increase their movement speed by 150%. So that's an essential item in what we're doing with this build. Because then we could zipline from the city center to like our lumber island, the ruins up here, and the builders for the levees. Technically with those zip lines, we really don't need to have districts because they can get to places faster, even if it's really farther away. But we'll probably make a zip line to the new district and we're going to put a district up there. I'll show you how districts work. Speaking of that, we had a great suggestion from Maleo Montoya here. Said every district should have a dressing name because we're on the Thousand Island map and the save file is called dressing. So we're going to go ahead and name District 1 Ranch. Our next district, we'll figure out what that name's going to be, but we're going to name them after salad dressings. Now, while they're building all this, let's go ahead and plan out the next step here. We're going to go ahead and just lay down some dam pieces across this. Let's drop a staircase there so we can get across. And then start working our way up this little mountainside here. This looks like a good location for a bunch of stairs. And that'll lead us to our ruins here, so we can actually start collecting those ruins. And we just got to clear this little island down here of the trees so we can actually path this up. We might use this for something as well, but I'm just not sure what yet. Maybe industrialization, because this little channel right here is pretty fast, and that means we should be able to get some power from those water wheels. Thankfully, Cycle 6, we got another drought. That's terrific. So this is going to make life a little easier for us. But yeah, let's use this small island here for our lumber mills and our smelters and things like that, and bring the power across this little channel and fill this up. I think that's a good idea. So we're going to need some log cutters, clear that out. Now they can't reach a whole lot yet, but once we build the dam here, where these blockages are, we'll be able to get across, and then we just need some stairs to get up to the next section. So let's mark those trees for cutting, and we'll just go ahead and mark all these for cutting, just to have it ready. Yeah, I like that. I think that'll work out good. So the next step is going to be designing out our power. So we have our standard water wheels right here. So let's go ahead and drop some power wheels. 3 across right there is perfect. We'll put 3 more in front of that. And then we're just going to put some platforms here and some stairs down. And we are risking our beavers getting contaminated by this while they build. So we just have to be very, very careful. We'll put a set of stairs here and connect that up. This will work out good. I like this plan. That channel's pretty fast, so we could actually fill this whole area with power wheels. This will take them a long time to build, but that's okay. It actually works out quite nicely. Look at that. Yeah, that'll work out terrific. Oh, our drought just started. Let's shut off our gate down here real quick. There's our floodgate. Boom. Oh, just as the water was receding. And look, they've got the dams in place down below. That's amazing. And they've got half the pathways already built at our city center. And once they get all those houses connected, we'll have some more beavers and they'll be able to take some jobs. While our ambitions are still strong, let's go ahead and continue this path up here. Unfortunately, we do have some trees blocking us, so those will have to get removed. We are just going to mark them for demolition. And what we're going to do up here in the top is we're going to eventually unlock this district crossing. And that way we can build a district center and put a new district up here on top of this plateau. So we have a lumber camp or builder's camp that will allow us to build this channel dam. And granted, right now we are risking a bad tide because that's not being built, but it's gonna take some time. That is a lot of wood.
That's what she said.
They are nearly done at city center with those platforms. That's amazing. We've already got a couple of new bursts. We're up to 20 beavers total. And our food is holding strong, so I don't think we have to worry too much about the additional beavers. The only thing we do have to worry about is going to be the water. We have to make sure we have plenty of water. So one of the big deals is going to be unlocking this medium water tank. And to build that, we're going to need planks and gears. So it takes 30 planks and 20 gears. We need to build a gear workshop. And that's going to take 100 science to unlock. It's going to take 15 logs and 25 planks to build. And it's going to need planks to create the gears. So we got a little work ahead of us. Now for some of those additional jobs, I'm going to add some more inventor huts. I'm going to place them along here, right there, and one more right there. Because once we get these additional beavers, we're going to need the additional science. Because we need to unlock things quickly. Now we are putting their jobs at a lower priority, as you can see right here, mainly because we want science, but we don't want to sacrifice the more important jobs. So it looks like our oaks are growing, so we need to unpause this lumberjack flag, get somebody in there. And I think I need to mark them for cutting still. Yes, I do. So let's mark these bad boys for cutting real quick. There they are. And we already got one little guy starting to work on cutting those down, so we're getting a lot more lumber. That's terrific. We're going to have to also unpause this forester hut, though. And we got one more day left in the drought. We're still doing pretty good. Food is coming in. And granted, half of our crop dies. And expect on the new bad tide that comes in, a lot of these crops are going to die from corruption. But as long as we have good food storage, we should be okay. Now that city center is built and has new housing, they are starting to work on this new pathway and the new dam. That's great. And with all those new logs coming in, that's going to make it a lot easier. Okay, the drought is over. Let's go ahead and lower our floodgates again. Get that water in here nice and quickly. Lower both sides so that it can come in evenly. And we barely survived that. We are nearly out of water. So damming this large section of water is going to be very, very important to us. And it's a good thing I planted these oaks up here because that drought killed every tree down here.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
They don't have a great lifespan, especially when there's a drought. Well, that's kind of the reason why they were down here, because they can be replanted and grow quicker. But these oaks, that kind of saved us. Then I'm going to prioritize the pathway on the side of our tree farm because we're doing okay. I don't want to kill this just yet. So we're going to prioritize the pathway to the other side. We want to get our industrialization center built up first. And we also want to clear up all these trees because we really need to build this other dam to help store water in this giant region that we have. Because with the dams we put in place originally, the dams we're putting in right now, the dams we'll be putting in down here above the tree farm, and the dams on the left side here that leads to our ruins, looking at the height of the rest of the map, will hold a large amount of water. That will cut off this whole section and allow us a lot of fresh water. The only downfall is that bad tide and the fact that our channel dam is not built. So that is a high priority right now. All right, we're up to 25 beavers and we have every job taken except for a couple of our inventor huts, but that's okay. We've got science coming in now. Each one of these makes 1 science an hour on a 16-hour day. That's 16 science each. 5 of these will produce 80 science. So if all 5 of these are manned, we'll get 80 science a day. I think that's pretty good. They're already about halfway built on that dam. That's terrific. I am going to go ahead and unlock this triple floodgate. I'm going to put triple floodgates right here. These are going to be for dropping our bad tide out. I'm actually going to change this up so that we have only singles at the top. Actually, I don't even think I need to do that. I think I've just figured out a new way of doing my design. I'm just going to put some dam pieces up here. That'll let water out on a regular basis, store water in here if we need to. And there it is. There's the bad tide. We've got 3 days till our first bad tide flowing down. But as I was saying, the dam pieces will let water through, and these triple floodgates, when they're dropped, will lower that water level below that height and get rid of that bad water. And it's just going to take maybe a day or two for this to fill up, which is a sacrifice, but it is a lot of water sources back there. They are nearly completed with this dam on this side. That's terrific. Now I am sure during this bad tide, that I'm going to lose all these trees, probably a lot of these berry bushes, maybe some of these dandelions, and definitely all the food up here. But so long as we have water, we should still be able to make food without a problem. Now you'll see some gaps. I've decided I need to make a pathway so they can get to some of these other items I need destroyed. So we're just going to drop that in real quick. Now one of my hopes with this dam here is that I'm hoping it will increase the pressure and force more water into our main reservoir. We'll see how that works. All these trees on this little island are going to die. Here it comes. Let's go ahead and lift up our gate. Bad tide has started. Oh, good Lord, look at that. It is only one day, thankfully, but that's going to destroy so much. And it looks like with our dams down here by the food, it's slowed the progression of the water and it's forcing it to go faster out the side, which is actually a great extra, but it's keeping that bad tide at bay a little bit, which is really nice. Unintended, but fantastic. And here comes the fresh water back. Wow, that moves very quickly down those waterfalls. So this will take a little time to dilute. Yeah, this will take a little time to dilute, but that water is being forced out very quickly. Yeah, I think we have a success on our hands. What I may have to do is take this idea with the levees and the floodgates and move it up here next to our tree farm. At least as a temporary barrier so we have more fresh water down here. That might not be the worst idea right now. They can easily go across this little span between this island. That might be a good idea. That'll divert all that bad water out this section for the time being. Let's plan that. So we're going to go ahead and drop a bunch of levees, put them across here, and just make that a plug. Yeah, that's a good idea. So these levees will plug this area up. Water will still come in. It'll just be forced around it. Yeah, I like this idea. Let's move this section, actually. I think about it. And we'll actually make this 3 wide. Single floodgate there. All right. And this will do the same thing as our little floodgate system down below. But it'll force the water off the top of this map. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. So until that's done, we won't build our tree farm. Not yet. Put a staircase down right next to it and path it along the bottom. There we go. I like this. And now they got that dam built, they're moving the way across. So we can get to this little area here. And we can start taking out the trees on this next little island. And we got all 5 inventor huts being manned. So that means we're getting 80 science a day. I'm loving this. Since I've got about 1,000 science, I'm going to go ahead and unlock the scavenger flag and the smelter. Just have those unlocked and ready to go so we can start our industrialization center right here on this little island. And then with the next 700 science, we're going to start working on our zip lines because those need 20 logs, 40 planks, and 20 metal blocks. Once we can get those operational, this is going to make it so much easier for our beavers. So at this point, I'm just going to let them run, build everything out, just keep an eye on them. And we'll come back in a little bit and show you the progress.
Much later.
Welcome back, Vandalorians. We have got a lot accomplished. We were able to get that bad water break in. So now it's blocked off up here by our new tree farm, which is slowly going in. We do have the forester hut in, but we're not producing any trees at the moment because I had other things that needed to be taken care of. So now when the bad tide comes down from the water sources up here, it goes down and comes around and directly out this area by the power wheels. And instead of a dam, I just put kind of a bridge of platforms across because this pushes the water out a lot faster. And I didn't want to hold up the water flow. So dams hold back the water over here and the break holds the bad water back. And when we need water, we just lower our floodgates and drop that water gate so we get water in. We removed the old bad water breaks here. So now this is fully filled with water. We've got a path all the way up the side here now. We even cleared out all these trees, got all the power wheels in, and we started placing down some businesses here. So we got a couple lumber mills and a gear workshop. And along the edge, we are now mining scrap metal. And we were able to make it all the way up to the top here. And so we just need to put down a district crossing. I also did a couple other things. I decided to lay out a wall to see how high this needed to go. So this wall of levees is basically where we're going to flood the water up to, there's going to be a break of overhangs on top of all those, extending outwards, and the water's going to flow off the edge of the map. Now, I thought about this, and I might actually put the wall in one spot, so that way we can actually see the water falling off of the edge of the map. Because the way the game's designed is if it's at the very edge of the map, you can't actually see it. So I'm going to redo all these. This was just a tester, and I'm going to bring them 1 point in, and then anything that's higher, and I don't think anything is higher than this point, but if it is, we're going to just demolition it and make it so that it'll go off the map. So like this outer edge right here where these paths are, like we'll demo that down so it's one level lower and the water can actually flow off the edge. Actually, just might demo it all the way down. Yeah, that might just be a thing. Anyway, so that's going to be kind of an aesthetic part of it, is that it's going to fall off the edge of the map. The only place it's not going to do that is right here where the water sources are. So that's an aesthetic that's going to take a while. We've got some extra log storage over here where our industrial center is going to go, so that way they can easily access it. And I did unlock the zipline station and the pylon, right? So we've added some zipline stations across the map. So I've got one here, right here at City Center. Pylon 2 going to another station that's by the little forest area that we're going to build. And then another zipline station stopping at our little industrial center. And then it's going up to where our ruins are. So once we start getting our scrap metal built into blocks, they'll build these out and we'll actually have fast transportation. It'll be amazing. Yeah, we got all the way up to here. We now have the accessibility to build our new channel dam. Granted, it is quite large, but it's going to be worth it. And I think that's what we're going to do on the next one, is focus on getting a district up here by the channel dam and building that out. Though with this new water break we have here, it's not really necessary except for the future, because this is going to keep the water from destroying anything above. Now, the one thing that we might be able to take away from that is that we also have these overhangs and impermeable floors, and impermeable floors seem to keep it from happening, but I don't know how far bad water goes upwards. And I'm hoping it won't affect anything above it. So that's something we'll discover for ourselves in the future. But other than that, we got a lot accomplished today. I'm going to let these guys keep building, get this industrial center up so that we can start making planks, gears, and eventually iron blocks. And we can start building this out. But I think that's going to do it for me today. Thank you for coming down and watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications for future content. And that's going to be it. This is going to be Lakota Ravoc signing off. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye. What was that? You're welcome, buddy.